I've always been fascinated by the dark corners of human psychology, especially when it comes to those who commit the most heinous crimes. Today, I want to take you on a journey into the minds of killers at one of their most vulnerable moments, when they're sentenced to life without parole. Life without parole. It's a phrase that carries immense weight. It means spending the rest of your days behind bars with no hope of freedom. As I've delved into these cases, I've come to realize that studying killers' reactions to these sentences isn't just about morbid curiosity. It's a window into their psyche, their understanding of their crimes, and sometimes their humanity, or lack thereof. But it's not just about the killers. I've seen firsthand how these sentences impact victims' families and society as a whole. It's a complex web of emotions: relief, anger, closure, and sometimes even disappointment. In my years of studying these cases, I've witnessed a startling range of reactions from killers when they're handed a life sentence. It's like watching a twisted psychological drama unfold right before your eyes. Some break down in tears, their facade of toughness crumbling as reality sets in. Others maintain an eerie calm, their faces a mask of indifference. And then there are those who lash out in rage, hurling insults at the judge or victims' families. But it's not just about the outward display. These reactions offer us a window into the killer's mind. Are they remorseful? Do they understand the gravity of their actions? Or are they so detached from reality that even a life sentence fails to register? As we dive deeper into some specific cases, keep in mind that each reaction tells a story. It's not just about what we see on the surface, but what it reveals about the complex, often disturbing psychology of these individuals. Their responses at sentencing can be as revealing as the crimes themselves. I remember watching the footage of Jeffrey Dahmer's trial. The crimes he committed were so horrific, they're hard to even comprehend. Dahmer, known as the Milwaukee Cannibal, was convicted of murdering and dismembering 17 men and boys. Throughout the trial, Dahmer maintained an eerily calm demeanor. It was unsettling to see someone accused of such monstrous acts appear so normal, but it was the moment of sentencing that truly stands out in my mind. As the judge pronounced his sentence, 15 consecutive life terms, I watched Dahmer's face closely. There was no dramatic outburst, no tears. Instead, he simply lowered his head slightly, his expression barely changing. Analyzing Dahmer's body language and facial expressions during sentencing was fascinating. His lack of visible emotion could be interpreted in multiple ways. Was it a sign of remorse? Acceptance? Or perhaps a complete disconnection from the reality of his actions? Dahmer did speak briefly, expressing remorse and accepting his fate. But the disconnect between his words and his calm demeanor was striking. It left me wondering about his true emotional state. From my perspective, Dahmer's reaction seemed to indicate a man who had already accepted his fate long before the sentencing. It was as if he knew, deep down, that this was the inevitable conclusion to his horrific actions. The case of Aileen Wuornos is one that has always intrigued me. Dubbed America's first female serial killer, Wuornos was convicted of murdering 7 men in Florida. The atmosphere in the courtroom during her sentencing was electric. I can still feel the tension as I recall watching the footage. Unlike Dahmer's calm demeanor, Wuornos was anything but calm when she received her life without parole sentence. Her reaction was explosive. She shouted at the judge, cursed at the jury, and proclaimed that she would sail away on a sea of blood. It was a stark contrast to the composed woman we had seen earlier in the trial. What struck me most about Wuornos's reaction was how different it was from her earlier court appearances. In previous hearings, she had often appeared subdued, even remorseful at times. But at sentencing, it was as if a switch had been flipped. I've often wondered about the reasons behind this dramatic shift. Was it the finality of the sentence that triggered her outburst? Or perhaps the realization that her claims of self-defense had been rejected? Whatever the cause, it was a vivid demonstration of the emotional turmoil that can lurk beneath a seemingly calm exterior. As I've delved deeper into these cases, I've noticed some fascinating patterns in how killers react to life sentences. Many, like Dahmer, maintain an eerie calm. Others explode with rage, similar to Wuornos. Then there are those who break down, sobbing uncontrollably, and a few who even smile or laugh. But it's the unique reactions that truly captivate me. I recall one case where the killer actually thanked the judge, expressing relief at no longer being a threat to society. These unexpected responses often provide the most insight into a killer's mindset. From what I've observed, several factors seem to influence these reactions. The killer's mental state plays a crucial role, as does their understanding of their crimes. Even cultural background can shape how they respond to the prospect of life behind bars. It's a complex tapestry of human emotion and psychology, revealing the intricate workings of the criminal mind in its most vulnerable moment. In my conversations with criminal psychologists, I've gained valuable insights into these reactions. Many experts believe that a killer's response at sentencing can be indicative of their mental state and level of remorse. For instance, one psychologist explained to me that a lack of visible emotion, like in Dahmer's case, could signify a deep-seated personality disorder. On the other hand, extreme outbursts like Wuornos's might indicate underlying mental health issues exacerbated by the stress of the trial and sentencing. The role of remorse is particularly interesting. Some killers express genuine regret while others show no sign of it. As one expert told me, true remorse is rare in serial killers, but when it's present, it can significantly affect their reaction to sentencing. Experts also emphasize that these reactions can provide crucial information for rehabilitation efforts and risk assessment. A killer's behavior during sentencing might offer clues about their potential for future violence or their ability to integrate back into society if ever released. As we've explored these infamous cases, we've seen a wide spectrum of reactions from killers facing life without parole. From Dahmer's eerie calm to Wuornos's explosive outburst, each response offers a unique window into the criminal mind. These reactions aren't just fascinating from a psychological standpoint. They have real implications for our criminal justice system. Understanding how killers process their sentences could inform everything from courtroom procedures to rehabilitation programs in prisons. Moreover, these reactions can provide crucial closure for victims' families. Whether it's a sign of remorse or a defiant outburst, these moments can be pivotal in the healing process for those left behind. Ultimately, studying these reactions reminds us of the complexity of human behavior, even in its darkest forms. It challenges us to look beyond simple labels of good and evil, and consider the intricate psychological factors at play in criminal behavior. As we continue to grapple with issues of crime and punishment, these insights may prove invaluable in shaping a more effective and humane justice system. As we wrap up our exploration of killers' reactions to life sentences, I can't help but think about the ripple effects these moments have on the victims' families. For some, seeing a killer's remorse might offer a sliver of closure. For others, a lack of emotion or an angry outburst might reopen deep wounds, denying them the peace they so desperately seek. The media's role in all of this is significant. I've seen how a killer's reaction at sentencing can become headline news, sometimes overshadowing the crimes themselves or the victim's stories. It's a delicate balance between public interest and respect for those affected by these heinous acts. As we conclude this journey into the minds of killers at their moment of reckoning, I encourage you to reflect on the complexities of criminal psychology. Even in the darkest corners of human behavior, there's still much to learn about the human mind. It's a reminder that justice, psychology, and human emotion are intricately intertwined in ways we're still trying to understand. Thank you for listening to the Real Crime Diary Daily Dose of Crime. I'm MHB, and I'll see you next time as we continue to unravel the mysteries of the criminal mind.